boys and girls. It's Mrs. Vernetti here, and I'm so excited to talk math and cookies with Miss Tomlinson, fourth grade teacher, Miss Frolickstein, fourth grade teacher, and Miss Secor, fifth grade teacher. Today, boys and girls, we're going to look at some pictures of Oreo. Now, we can assume that somebody, you probably noticed, the top part of the Oreo off, and you've got the bottom half of the Oreo with some of the frosting left. Talk to me about the frosting that you see left on that Oreo, ladies.
The first thing I noticed, it looks like half of the frosting is left on this Oreo cookie.
I wonder what happened to the other half. Do you all agree, Secor and Tomlinson? You think there's half the frosting there?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, now let's look at this one. What's the difference between this cookie and this cookie?
There's twice as much frosting on that cookie.
Twice as much. What do you mean by that?
Or there's double. There was half on the other cookie, and now there's another half, so it's a whole amount of frosting.
I like it.
I see the whole cookie frosted.
The whole thing, all of it is included. How about this one?
I noticed that 1/4 of the frosting is missing.
How did you figure that out, Miss Tomlinson?
Well, the first cookie, half of the frosting was missing. And then I noticed that in this cookie, half of that half that was missing is there.
Oh, so this part you saw on the first cookie, but this has been added back in.
Yes.
But so what did you say was the fraction amount?
I noticed that 1/4 was missing.
1/4 is missing.
I agree with Miss Tomlinson, and so that to me makes me think that 3/4 of the icing is there and 1/4 is missing. I agree.
Any thoughts, Miss Secor?
Well, I agree with what the others have shared.
I'm liking how you said, Miss Tomlinson, that there was half, and then half of the half came back. Half of the half is a fourth. So Miss Frolickstein, we're throwing all kinds of fractions out there. Miss Frolickstein, you said that there's 3/4. Does that mean that 1/2 plus another fourth is the same thing as 3/4?
Yes, I do believe so, because if you look at that 1/4 that's missing and try to mirror it on the other side and piece, you could cut this into 4 equal slices. And if one of those is missing, that would mean 3 of those fourths are left behind.
I like it. What about this one?
I think that's our missing piece.
Oh. So how much frosting is there?
1/4,
And how much frosting is missing?
3/4.
3/4.
Wait, tell me, what is 1/4 plus 3/4?
That would be 1 whole.
Oh, talk to me about this one.
There's
All of our frosting's gone missing.
All of it. So we don't have any fourths or halves, do we?
No.
Ooh.
It's a little tricky.
So this one, my first thought, I thought maybe it could be thirds or fifths, just because when I look at something that doesn't quite make a clear fraction piece, like the fourths were pretty obvious in my mind, where I think sometimes when it's like an odd shape that's missing, that to me might be an odd number. So that's my first thought.
So you're thinking thirds or fifths because it looks like an odd number. Anybody else have any thoughts as to what you think is either here or missing?
Well, I wonder if 1/4 is missing and then another half of a fourth is missing.
I agree with Miss Tomlinson. Now that I think about that, it almost looks like Well, so half of a fourth would be an eighth. So maybe 3/8 are missing.
So there would be 1/8 here and 1/8 here and 1/8 here. If there are 3/8 missing, Miss Secor, could you figure out with that information how many eighths of frosting is still left?
Well, 8/8 is equal to 1 whole, and if I took away 3/8 from 8/8, I'd be left with 5/8.
Hmm.
And there's 5/8, and 5/8 is close to 4/8, which is a nice benchmark fraction for 1/2. And it looks like there's slightly more than 1/2 of the frosting.
I like that. I like that you used your benchmark of a half and you calculated in your head that 1/2 would be the same thing as 4/8. And it looks like maybe there's just 1 extra eighth. Good thinking. How about this one? Talk to me about what you see.
Well, this one looks like 1/4 on the bottom and 1/4 on the top. So to me, that would make 1/2.
Really? Okay, so you think that this, boys and girls, sorry, I'm going to do some fast scrolling. You think that this has the same amount of frosting on it as this?
I do. I think that if you moved one of those fourths over and connected it to the fourth that's there, that you would see that it fills half of the frosting.
Oh, so we could take this and just kind of rotate it there, and then it would look just like the original cookie. How about this one? Talk to me about what.
I think that looks like it's 1/8 frosting left.
Why?
Because I'm visualizing a half, and then if I think of a half,
Are you
would be,
half, Miss Tomlinson, straight up and down like this, or are you visualizing it in a different way?
I'm visualizing it straight up and down.
Okay.
And then I know half of a half is 1/4,
Okay.
and then half of 1/4 is 1/8.
Okay. Oh, so this is the fourth that you have left. And then you're saying half of that fourth is 1/8. So you're looking at this.
Yes.
Ms. Tomlinson, I think it's also 1/8 for the same reason that it kind of fits right into that 1/4 section, but it's half of that 1/4. So it kind of fits almost into that 3/8 picture we were looking at. It could have kind of filled in that one odd spot to
Right here.
Mhm.
Huh, that's pretty cool. How about this one?
Looks like a mixed number to me, 1 and 1/2 Oreo frosting.
Huh, what's a mixed number?
A mix of whole numbers and fractions.
So you said 1 whole cookie of frosting plus another half. And could one of you ladies tell me what would that mixed number be if we wanted to convert it into halves? How many actual halves would we have here?
We would have 3 halves.
How?
So in the whole, we have 2 halves. And then in the second cookie, we just have 1/2 frosted. So we would have 2 halves plus 1/2 equals 3 halves.
I like it. Thank you so much for sharing your thinking with me. And I think I want to go get myself some Oreo cookies. Boys and girls, in between when we were doing the recording, we were talking about all the fun ways we like to eat Oreo cookies and milk. Hopefully you learned some good things and heard some excellent math vocabulary in our conversation. It has been great talking to you today. We'll see you later.